All Nigerians bear the burden of insecurity in one form or another, as worsening national insecurity is biting hard. The problem has resulted to poor economic development, while leadership is receiving a bashing like never seen in the country's history, as strategies put in place to tackle the challenge seems to be having little or no results. The situation, according to some victims, can only be compared to the era of Nigerian civil war. As the problem rages, some Nigerians have asked the federal government to consider granting the citizens the right to bear arms for self-defense. Proposals for mass gun ownership would allow anyone to carry arms without a license or create an official process for any citizen to apply. Currently, the 1990 Firearms Act allows for individual gun ownership only in exceptional cases, with licenses given at the discretion of the President and the Inspector General of Police. The federal government has made no attempts to change or repeal the Firearms Act, and the prospect of an armed populace goes against the interest of leadership at the state and federal level.
In every society, the good persons are more than the bad persons. Then, if you are able to do an objective profiling and identify the character of these adults, male or female, that should be entitled to firearms, it is a welcome development. It is not those that will possess the firearm that is the problem. The agency or the body that will be responsible for the profiling of these persons, whether they are worthy by character to be given a gun. Nigeria have it long ago a part of policy of Nigerian government before the session of the present regime, Buhari regime. People have guns that are licensed, and what it is meant to do, well, mainly for gaming. You know, you license your double barrel for the purpose of gaming, that is hunting. You know, like a pleasure or a leisure or a hobby. But at the same time, once you are given a firearm that is licensed, you equally have the right to use it to protect yourself against terrorism, against armed robbery, against any attack.
What they did in Zamfara State, that every individual who wish to acquire guns should come for a license. It is a welcome development because, one, today you look at a lot of people living in fear. If you are coming to rob me, or if you are coming to harm me, when you have it in the back of your mind, I also have a gun within me, I can withstand it when you come. Not only that, is in any environment where they know there are a lot of men who have gun in any community, you see that even hoodlums hardly near those areas. So if they make it so importantly that for people of Zamfara, that everybody who wish to acquire gun should be licensed for it, it is a welcome development. And I also believe that other states should follow suit. Because if they follow suit, I know people might say that Nigeria is not mature, not mature enough to be in that state because the crime rate will be very high. There's every day that even you and your friend could be quarreling. The friend could can easily enter the house and bring a gun and use the firearm on you. But if you wait the other way around, at least it will go to an extra mile that if people know that if they are coming to attack you, you have something to defend yourself, and those people will be having to caution in the first place. That's my take. So it's a welcome development.
Well, I do not see anything wrong in the present day Nigeria if guns are legalized, because the security architecture in the country as it is today have not solved any security problem. This country has gone into a security state where it has now become God for us all, every man for himself. A situation where you call them bandits, you call them criminal elements or whatever. Why should a section of the country be free to carry guns around, whether you call them illegally or not? But the truth is that they are going about carrying these guns and they are committing crime and they are getting away with it. I think that the liberalization of guns for everybody is necessary in the present day Nigeria. But the thing is that profile everybody, so that when something happens, you're able to trace it. If, for instance, you come to this my street and the people come and know that there's a likelihood that there are 20 houses. Out of those 20 houses, it's possible that there can be guns in up to 15, 16 houses. The people will also be careful, because the man who wants to go and shoot the other person too has not made himself bulletproof. So in a situation where people just move around and living at the mercy of, oh, God will help us one day, I think the Nigeria of today, the issue of legalization of guns is something that the time has come, because the strength of the security forces in this country, as it has shown, cannot protect our people, neither can they defend our people. So before everybody resort to self-help, I think that the states should legislate. Look at like the Southwest now. Yeah, but yeah, we'll be talking about state policing and not state policing. But the Southwest have all come together. They've set up the Amoteco, and we're also seeing some results coming out from it. So I do not think it is something that is out of order if the police, who is constitutionally empowered to protect our people, is overwhelmed. Therefore, why don't you have some other ancillary bodies who can also assist? I think people should be profiled. After all, they give people double barrel in Nigeria for gaming and all that. People have double barrel. So the difference is just a little. Profile everybody, not just like people walk into the market and buy guns.
The loudest advocacy for civilians to bear arms recently emanated from Zamfara State, where banditry has dealt a death blow on the peace in the state, which hitherto enjoyed relative calm. The governor of the state, Mr. Bello Matawale, announced issuing of licenses to citizens to own guns to defend themselves, following the escalating attacks, kidnapping, and the criminal levies imposed on innocent communities. This act of terrorism has been a source of worry and concern to the people and government of the state. Information Commissioner of the state, Mr. Ibrahim Dosara, said the government has arranged for 500 licenses to be distributed to those who qualify and are wishing to obtain such guns to defend themselves. Dosara said the state government has ordered the recruitment of 200 additional local guards in each of Zamfara's 19 emirates to increase manpower and strengthen its force and capacity to deal with the bandits.
Personally, I think the governor of Zamfara, even though he's the chief security officer of the state, has acted ultra-vires, because issues of firearms is not issue of state matters. Issues of firearms strictly on the exclusive list are issues to be determined by the Act of National Assembly. It is not a House of Assembly or a state that should deliberate on issues of firearms. You understand? Yes, the state has issues to make as it has to do with security. Yes, a state governor can go into security issues, advise, direct, based on, with collaboration with the already established National Assembly establishment, like the police and what have you. But for a governor to just wake up to say, oh, you want to now give rights to persons, or persons now have right to acquire firearms, we have to know the firearms in question. Because before now, double barrel guns have been known to law to be possessed by any person, any civil person, or any civilian. But is it the same barrel in question? Then it should not be an issue for deliberation. But if it is not barrel, then which firearms are we referring to? Is the governor now saying that civilians should possess AK-47 without going through the National Assembly? Then he's acting ultra-vire. If it is now pump action, you say we collaborate with the Commissioner of Police. If it is now pump action, what are the sources of this pump action? Who are the suppliers of this pump action? Where are these pump actions coming from? These are issues for determination. Before you wake up to just say, go and acquire guns. And what regulatory mode has been put in place to regulate and regularize the abusive use of these firearms in questions? Because brigands culprits, cultists, will see it as a hiding place to go and say, the governor said we should go and possess these firearms and cause havoc and mayhem with it. So what regulatory measure has the government or has that government put in place to regulate the abusive use? These are issues for determination. So it is not proper or wise for any sane thinking, right thinking man to just jump into, say, approve or don't approve. We will look at what is the reason for seeking for approval. Oh, herdsmen are invading. Very good. With these herdsmen, have we put a modality in place to curb this herdsmen menace? Is it not as a result of government failure? This herdsmen menace, is it not as a result of XYZ, one or two persons in authority are giving access to XYZ? These are the issues we will look at.
Everyone should begin to secure themselves, just like what Zamfara State government said, that they should begin to give out license so that their citizens will be secured. So this is what we need. Let everyone secure themselves, because when you see the government going out, any of our electorate, senator, governor, whatever you may call them, who's supposed to be our servant, they will go with entourage, enough security, leaving the people to defend themselves. It's uncalled for to me. They're supposed to secure us. All those security people they go along with, supposed to secure with the citizen. But they use, well, you see one person with 10 security, no, then leaving the people to their own fate. So let every person begin to secure themselves. That is my own take.
What the governor of Zamfara State is saying is not new to Nigeria. It's not new to Nigerians. There are Nigerian citizens before this time that have firearms that are licensed by the Nigerian police. So to me, my problem would be whether the body, which is the Nigerian police or the Department of General Police that is responsible for issuing this license, will do a thorough job to do examination, profiling, and assessments of the individuals and characters or persons that will be coming forward to apply for this firearm. So if they can do a thorough job and give guns to majority of good persons, when more of good persons have arms in the society, the bad people are a minority. So you cannot arm the minority against armless majority. So let the majority have arms, license, not just go to the counter to go and buy and carry it all over the place. License by their assessment and be able to protect themselves, their family, and other members of the community. So in addition to that, there's the need for the federal government of Nigeria, in conjunction with the state governments of Nigeria, to strengthen the local government system. Now, these criminals live in localities, and the nearest tier of government to the people is the local government. Not necessarily you're going to have a local government police, or you're going to buy guns and gunpowder to the council officials, but they can have a network of surveillance. Surveillance system can only be effective if they are monitored and controlled by the local government system. So you know men and women that can give you quick information as to the whereabouts or location of these criminals, and then pass this information to the authorities that can go into the combat. So until you have a strong local government system, you can't have effective national security, because these criminals reside either in the forest or in the home or in the cave. Wherever you say they live, these areas are situated in a particular local government area.
The governor of Ondo State, Mr. Rotimi Akeredolu, said agitation for arms bearing only confirms the pervasive loss of confidence in the current security arrangements in the country. In a statement titled "Establishment of State Police is the Solution," issued by his Senior Special Assistant on Special Duties and Strategy, Dr. Doyin Adebowale. Meanwhile, the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò of Yoruba Land, Gani Adams, expressed support for the gun license directive by Matawale, saying the decision was necessary to strengthen the internal security of the state, and urged state governors from the southwest to take a cue from the development, as activities of bandits and kidnappers are fast spreading to the region, why such could no longer be tolerated.
To me, it's a welcome idea. I expect every Nigerian to secure themselves. Our government should have the law that will enable its citizens to have gun at least within some certain age, maybe from the age of 18. Should have that license. Should be able to should be able to have their personal gun, just like in developed world. Because now security is nothing to write to me by Nigeria. Our government is unable to secure the citizen. If, for example, a bus is traveling to Abuja, a 10-seater bus, and the 18 passengers have gun, No kidnapper will dare stop that kind of bus, because if the kidnapper don't want to block that road, that kidnapper is in trouble, because everyone is secured, because nobody left his house, his head at home. So if armed robber is coming to your house, he knew that you have a gun, he dare not come. Have you ever watched a film? You see two people cap on, this one have his own gun, this one have his own gun. They dare not shoot. They will only hold their gun, strengthen themselves. They will go back to their feet. Why? Because they know that once he opens his bullet, the other one will open his bullet. The two of them will be down. So the same thing is applicable. We expect the government to issue license to the citizen, give them the right. Despite that guns vary, the price of gun is expensive, but they should be able to make it in a way that reduce the price that an average man can have it in his or her home to secure his or herself. That is what I prefer for now. And every church too should be able to secure their church. Every mosque also should secure their mosque.
If we have strong local government system conscious of the security of lives and property, in addition to profiling of citizens in these localities that should be giving license arm, I think it will be a step in the right direction. The only one I don't like is the American type, where you just go to the counter and buy gun. Now they are making laws in American Senate, American Congress, and so yes, citizens can carry gun, but let's do a background check. Let's do a proper profiling. If we do a background check, a good man, a good woman should be given a gun to protect himself or herself and members of his or her family. So Zamfara government is in the right, but don't go and give it to hoodlums and party talks and hooligans who will use the gun and turn against the people. But if you give guns to people, and the people are good people in all society, God designed it so. In every society, good persons are more than the bad persons. So let's do it as a general policy that adults of 18 years and above with good record, recommended by good persons, traditional ruler, religious leaders, or whatever, should have guns. And if you have these guns, you may not take it to the nightclub or take it to the office. It could just be like keeping it in your house. But when there is threats to lives and property of particular, then they can mobilize and say, Jeremy, we have threats around us. And if you have a community of about 1,000 persons, 600 or 700 have gone, 10, 15 people cannot take them for granted. Of course, this will equally restrain the criminals when they know that they are moving to a community where majority of the adults have gone. They too know that it's not going to be an easy approach. It's an attack. So it is a welcome development. But that background check, profiling of the individuals that will be given the gun, is the most important aspect of this policy. Not those that will be given the gun.
Legalization of gun to me, in this country, Nigeria, it's not supposed to be a thing to encourage because we are not civilized to that extent. But the situation in this country warrants that. Me as a person, I will support legalization of guns and ammunition. Because those people, if you see what they always attack, they are all soft targets. So if I have a gun, you have a gun, you are carrying the kind of gun I have in my house, you want to come and attack me, you will be scared too. But because they are soft prey, they will just march on them, kill who they want to kill. I will support that in the area of like state policing and vigilantes. So if everybody want to say no to that, then you don't want security in this country. But let us do it in a way the government will be involved, like our state now in Edo State. If not for the vigilante, our governor has established, we wouldn't have been talking here as we are talking now.
To the things of view, from my side, you see that I don't think it's a normal thing for the gun to be legalized to everyone. Firstly, I don't know, we have a lot of persons in the world, and different person, different character. So if guns should be legalized, that means everybody's in danger. That's it. Everybody's in danger. Like I saw the other day on Facebook, being a church service, I saw an usher with a gun. I don't think that is normal for a Christian like me. As a pastor, I think I kick against that. It's not good at all. The Bible said, except the Lord watches over the city, the watchmen watch in vain. So that just it.
However, in a strong opposition, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, faulted the Zamfara state government over its directive for civilians to bear arms outside their constitutional approval for hunting and games. Irabor spoke at the opening of the joint exercise for the National Defense College and War Colleges of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, codenamed Exercise Grand National in Abuja. As the debate continues, it is the hope that a common ground that will protect Nigerians from the marauding herdsmen, bandits, unknown gunmen, religious fanatic, or whatever name the terrorist operates would be achieved. Caroline Okonji on Special Report.